Hey y'all, hey, it's Galanda B, your emotional awareness coach, and today we're going to be talking about emotional self-awareness. If you're new here, I'm an emotional awareness coach dedicated to helping you connect with your emotions through mindfulness, enabling you to experience greater joy and peace in your life. All right, let's get to it. Emotional self-awareness is one of the competencies outlined in the 4 domains of emotional intelligence as outlined by Daniel Goleman. I want to help you connect and be able to further develop this competency through mindfulness. And you might say, okay, Galanda, how am I going to use mindfulness to increase my self-awareness? Well, mindfulness helps you to be present. And when you're present, you can have more awareness about your emotions, right? So you say, okay, I got it. What exactly is emotional self-awareness, right? It's understanding your emotions and their impact on your thoughts, on your behaviors, and on your decisions, right? And where mindfulness comes into play here is that practice and presence allows you to notice patterns in your emotions, right? Practice and presence helps you to notice patterns in your emotions, right? So, for example, I'll give you an example of emotional self-awareness. If you are a person who gets nervous with public speaking, maybe your hands sweat and maybe your heart beats really fast, right? That is being emotionally aware that public speaking makes you nervous, okay? And within these competencies, he labels them in 2 ways. It's called a threshold competency is one, and the other one is the distinguishing competency. Now, those are big words, so to make it easy for you, the first one is about recognizing your basic emotions, right? Recognizing your basic emotions. So it's your foundational ability to say, I'm angry, I feel joy, I'm fearful, I'm sad. Basic emotions, right? That's where the threshold competency comes in. So you can use mindfulness and mindful practices to help you recognize these basic emotions, right? Things like body scanning, right? Or even focused breath can help you learn to identify these emotions. Another thing that you can use, and I'll make sure to include a link in the description, is an emotional wheel, right? An emotional wheel or feelings wheel can help give you the language that you need to identify these basic emotions, right? So the second level of the competency is the distinguishing. And in layman's term, what this means is that you have better emotional insight and regulation around your emotions. Okay? This is being able to understand what types of things may trigger you, what are the patterns for you, and what effect that this would have on you, right? So, mindfulness, again, you are paying attention on purpose to the patterns, and because of this, you are gaining deeper emotional insight over time to what your triggers are. So, an example of a person who's exhibiting more emotional insight and regulation is that they understand that during an argument, let's say their partner might say certain words, and they know that those certain words trigger them in such a way and upset them in a way that is very disturbing. Because they are aware of this and they know what their emotional response is to it, they have decided to find strategies to stay calm, right? So they know they hear that word or words, it triggers them, and then they have a strategy to then manage their response to that said word. Okay? So how we integrate this is really making an intentional choice about learning our own emotions, right? A lot of times you'll hear emotional intelligence in reference to how you relate to others, but there's a lot of steps to get to before you get to worrying about what somebody else's emotions are. You have to be able to recognize and regulate your own emotions before you can effectively manage other people's. Okay? So here are a couple of ways that you can start to learn your emotions. Number one, journaling, right? And this journaling does not have to be something so formal. You can simply just jot down the emotions that you're feeling at a particular time or during a particular experience, right? But giving enough information that if you were to review, then you understand, oh, this caused this, or when this happened, I responded in this way. Another mindful practice that you might consider doing are just mindful breaks throughout the day, right? Like just stepping away from your desk, stepping away from the phone, stepping away from the computer, and just checking in with your emotions, right? There are some camps that might say that meditation is an effective way to use mindfulness, and I would say that it can be, but for those of us that are new in our emotional awareness journey, meditation is not my suggested method, right? Journaling, write it down. If you're having difficulty finding the words, printing the feelings/emotions wheel to help you identify what emotions you're having, that's the number one best way. Number two, body scan, just checking in with yourself, giving yourself a break from the constant on the move to see emotionally how you're feeling and how you're responding to a particular situation, right? So, in short, right, in order to improve your threshold competency to a distinguishing one, or from a beginner competency to a point where you can recognize your basic emotions and move that to not only can you recognize it, but you can regulate with them, you need to practice mindfulness, right? And it has to be integrated as a daily practice. Now, some of you, I might say, well, I don't want to be journaling. I don't want to be carrying a book around with me. That's fine. You don't have to do that. There's other methods to journal. Just about everybody has a cell phone, right? You can have a notes page that whenever something's going on and you have a few spare moments, you can jot down your emotions there. You can record yourself on your camera of how you're feeling, right? Or if you have a voice recorder, you can record voice notes. Journaling, there is no one way. Whatever works best for you, whether it be physical writing, typing, voice note, or video note. As long as you are documenting to give yourself the opportunity to not only be intentional about identifying those emotions, but the opportunity to review that so that you can learn from it is extremely, extremely important, okay? So I am going to challenge you and encourage you to pick one day, not 1 week, not 1 month, one day where you journal what your emotions are for that day in an effort to strengthen and improve your emotional self-awareness so that you can experience more joy and peace in your life. Until next time, bye-bye.